When disasters strike,
as fires ignited across LA,
devastating fires out in Los Angeles,
and the flames continue to spread,
expected to reach 70 miles per hour.
pets don't have a 911 to call.
Pets were killed, many pets were severely injured, pets are still missing.
I just drove straight to the barn to get my horses out. We're not gonna let them burn.
Where can you go with your animals in a situation like that?
How do I get to my house?
Every emergency call is a race against time. First responders face the hardest truth. They can save the people, but not always the pets.
the hundreds of animals left behind.
This poor dog was isolated while the house next to it is burning down.
They deserve better than
I'm so sorry.
It's never a choice, because pets are family too.
Sometimes people love their animals more than themselves.
When pets are in danger, no one is truly safe.
People don't realize the best care is caring for their animals so they can get the best care.
For thousands of families across Alberta and beyond,
A Calgary-based charity focuses on vulnerable families and their pets, and especially in emergent times.
Decided it needed to help.
Saving four-legged friends.
Impacted by the California wildfires.
They set up satellite locations in lots of places where there's need.
the first response for the first responders.
Parachutes for pets. Parachute for pets.
Parachutes for Pets, standing for pets and their people.
We welcome Melissa David,
The founder of Parachutes for Pets.
Who is now back from California.
Standing for the bond that makes every family whole. So when the call comes, heroes save lives without leaving love behind.
When it comes to wildfires in Canada, we've had quite a bit of experience. People very excited that, Canada was thinking of them and wanting to help. We got down there and we hit the ground running. We started a 72-hour shift, delivering supplies, doing supply runs, transporting pets, cuddling pets, walking pets, just anything to give the volunteers a break because they had been going for 4 or 5 days strong at that point. It was a very emotional time, but then there was, the greatest thing I may have ever seen in this job. There was a gentleman and he was probably 200 feet away and he was just calling a name. He had one dog with him and he said to me, he's like, Pedro got out with me, but he's like, my other one didn't, but I just feel like he's here. I have to be here. I know they've told me to come in at my own risk, but I have to see if my dog's here. A lot of people will choose to stay with their pet and they will perish, and it has happened before. I'm not kidding. Probably about an hour later, going through rubble and trying to sort out, you hear shrieks and you hear screams that lifted your heart because his dog did come out of the rubble. That moment actually single-handedly allowed me to keep going on that trip because I'd spent a lot of tears the first 12 hours once I realized, the depth of what we were dealing with. But that reminded me why we were there, reminded my team why we were there, and, got us through our first volunteer shift and then back for our second volunteer shift.
From Yellowknife and Kelowna wildfires in August 2023,
A sea of orange. West Kelowna appears to be structures on fire.
Since the evacuations, Parachutes for Pets has been giving pet owners peace of mind.
Being able to bring him here and get him a bath was a relief off of my shoulders.
That's not a bad feeling for Raider. David says so far they've spent more than $50,000 helping hundreds of evacuated pets.
When you're first activated and there's evacuations, we will get a call from firefighter or paramedics that's helping with the emergency control center. And they will say to us yes or no. And in the beginning, I didn't know what that meant. Now I know when they're saying yes or no. I have about 10 seconds to make a decision on whether Parachutes can step up, activate, get to where we need to go, and take on the pets. Because if we say no, the pets do not come. And people will stay behind and perish with their pets if that's what happens. I'm somebody that will, in almost every situation, say yes. I will figure it out on the back end because we don't have time to say no. Saying no loses lives.
to Jasper in July 2024.
It was snowing with all the ash falling.
Ted Turnbull had 3 hours to pack up his belongings, his beloved dog Oreo, and catch a bus to safety.
We've done 3 years of wildfires now, and this is the toughest one yet.
And most recently to Pukatawagan this June, they showed up.
Now I'm just going up with the emergency response coordinator to drop these supplies over the First Nations so that they can continue to take care of the animals until we can get in there.
Well, from Melissa's parking lot idea, it's grown into a way bigger parachute than I ever expected. It started as a let's feed the dogs on the street, let's help these dogs that are these homeless people that can't afford to feed themselves and their animals.
I found a raincoat that I'm hoping will fit. Anytime we will give him a bath, a haircut.
I received a call from a lady who was very emotional, very upset, very cold, had been sleeping under a sheet in a loading dock with her dog.
She was just like this angel on the other end. She said, you know what, I'm coming to get you. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
To see people freezing because she couldn't go to a shelter because she had her dog. I don't think that's fair. If there was an emergency shelter that was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, there was no barrier. We'll take your animal and you can ideally enter the shelter system. I think that would be amazing.
We have partnerships with the Alberta government and the Navigation Centre to ensure that people that are unhoused, their pets are safe and warm, and we're getting them to where they need to be and getting them on their plan to get housing and whatnot.
I don't know what that would look like. The Parachute for Pets wasn't around.
Parachutes for Pets is helping Lise and many others with emergency food and other necessities.
Yesterday we took 11 calls and pretty much all started with, I'm going to have to surrender.
He is my partner. He loses it when I'm gone, and it breaks my heart every time I have to leave him.
The donation-based charity offers an emergency pet pack program to anyone who may be experiencing homelessness or are escaping domestic or family violence.
I reached out to Parachute for Pets because I had been through a domestic violence situation. I couldn't find anywhere to go with my dog. Everybody told me to get rid of her. So they helped me navigate this system that had failed me.
We get a lot of calls of, hospitals, please come. We have a client here that needs medical care immediately, but we don't have anywhere for the pet, so they're refusing care. This person isn't going to make it if they don't get care. We have what we call a safekeeping program, where we'll take care of your pet while you're in the hospital. There's no charge. We connect with you every day. We just make sure she's taken care of while you get better.
When Parachutes first started, I had a young man come in that was very sick and needed to go to the city, but was refusing, didn't have anybody to care for his dog, and Melissa phoned me back in about 2.7 seconds and said, we've got somebody to come get his dog. And he just cried, because having somewhere where your dog can go for safe and for free is huge for a lot of the community out here.
I know a lot of the people that have come across that have had animals, they always say to me, it's like my animals will eat before I do.
You're so welcome. Oh, it's okay.
When I was first told that I was losing my leg, I was just completely out of my mind with worries for Wi-Fi. I managed to get a friend who lives in my building looking after him, but only for a few days could he look after him. Didn't know anybody that was willing to take him, so I was scared, I was terrified.
Before Mel opened Parachutes, we've had a lot of incidences where people have refused their health care because they've had to look after animals.
Another organization, they don't do exactly what Parachute for Pets does. They could only look after them for a certain amount of time, and then he goes on into adoption. I didn't want to lose Wi-Fi, my dog.
When I look at my hours over the past year where I've spent my most hours, it's with EMS in residences where I'm in there going, I promise you're going to get your pet back. I promise, I'm going to take good care, and getting that trust so that they can go to the hospital.
Early on in my career, we had an elderly gentleman, and his best friend was his border collie, and he left the hospital one night and unfortunately was never able to return because he went home and passed away with his dog by his side.
Now I knew there was a resource I could go to. I was delighted. I was giggling and silly like a kid. It was great.
Pets are a huge part of healing, right? And we have the opportunity in healthcare that you can arrange for pets to come have a visit and stuff. And I know Melissa has recently done that.
Parachute for Pets has been looking after him for over 4 months. And look at him. He's so healthy and well groomed and well kept and happy. I am so grateful.
Parachute for Pets is the first place that I think of, that I know that they'll get connected to the right people.
Whether it's through a pet food bank helping families in crisis, a thrift store giving second life to pet essentials, or programs like Lily and Dexter's Legacy, helping children in care stay with their pets during life's most vulnerable moments.
We need you to come. This is a Lily and Dexter's Legacy call. And it was a murder-suicide. So it was 3 children left with a dog, and they had lost both their parents in 8 hours. Last week, I got to see the children and the dog, and they're all healing together. They're all getting through it together. And again, that's why we're here, because Pets are, a direct tie to mental health, even for youth, even for children, even for that bond. Our Lily and Dexter's Legacy program with the Backlund family is world and life-changing.
The call for help reaches farther than ever. Parachutes for Pets has arrived in Edmonton.
Now another pet charity is moving north to fill the void.
Parachutes for Pets launched in Edmonton earlier this month after seeing a high demand for help in the city.
She's expanded into different cities. We're now in Edmonton.
I started getting a lot of calls from Edmonton. We've been supporting Edmonton all along with pet packs and a few things here and there. So we had some connections. But what Edmonton needed was what we were offering Calgary when it comes to safekeeping, 24-hour angel team, and just supports for people with pets.
The Alberta Animal Rescue Crew Society announced the closure of the Edmonton North Haven facility they've operated since 2020.
Problem up there had gotten really big, and it overextended what they could offer. So pets were coming down to us in Ubers, by volunteers, and at that point, I knew something had to be done.
We're actually really excited. We're going to be moving into the ARCS space. So ARCS is leaving Edmonton. So we've been able to work with them. We're going to be, taking on a large piece of their volunteers and their team. So we should easily have over 1,000 volunteers and 5 or 6 team members to be able to assist as much as we can.
In April, we made a very quick plan to launch PFP Edmonton, the world's second ever pet advocacy center. When we opened May 3rd in Edmonton, we already that morning when we went in before the doors opened, our voicemail was full. The first 4 people through our doors were organizations, social workers, and the police. Thanking us, hugging us.
Since June, nearly 400 homeless pet packs have been distributed in Edmonton alone.
There was a really high demand for homeless help up there because the homeless rate is increased with the pandemic, COVID, prices are skyrocketing and wages aren't. So a lot of people are on the street with their pets.
These guys are angels on earth. That's all we could say, really.
The impact is something they have not seen before. And when you get a call from a social worker who has said, hey, I've been trying to get this individual to, get this surgery for 2 years. Now they're in treatment. We're proud that we don't offer a Band-Aid solution. We offer a solution that allows the clients to be accountable. When you get a call in those crisis moments because somebody is on a bridge and they want to jump, the only thing in that moment they're asking for is for the police or the mental health supports on site is to make sure that their pet has a good life. And we go and we climb that bridge with them. And I've sat there for 2 or 3 hours at times talking to somebody through those moments, convey to them that I'm not coming to just take your pet so that you can end your life. I am coming because I'm going to walk the walk with you, and the Parachutes team and other mental supports and partnering organizations are going to walk this with you. You are going to be okay. Your pet's going to be okay.
It's a very unique place that I think should get a lot more support.
Just huge, just even knowing that resource sits in the back of our head. I can't afford to feed my animal. How can I afford to buy my medicine? Well, if I get your animal fed, can you afford your prescription? And just being able to say, hey, there's this organization.
My commitment to Parachutes for Pets for the last 6 years is stronger today than it ever has been. A lot of credit is given to me, and I've mentioned a lot, but there is no Parachutes without the community. And everybody that is watching this, who has ever shared a post, liked a post, talked about Parachutes, attending an event, volunteering, it takes so many little pieces to make this big picture whole, and the impact belongs to everybody. Everything we do every day, the lives we save, the people we help, is because of each and every one of you. And in order to keep going, we do need that to continue. So I encourage you to reach out with anything that you think you might be able to do, big or small. And most importantly, believing in our mission, believing in our cause is everything to us. So if you would like to continue to support Parachutes, if you'd like to get involved, if you'd like to be able to see us expand and take a crack at solving the animal welfare crisis globally, we're gonna say yes. We just need the support. Yes is my favorite word in my vocabulary, and I will figure it out on the back end. And as long as you guys keep showing up, I will keep showing up, and so will the rest of this team. Thank you.